Hello, magical friends, especially my magical patrons whose support lets me do these interviews. I'm your host, Bryce, and this month I'm talking to someone who I think is one of my new favorite people. So let's get into it. Here's Green Eyes by the Narcoleptics.
Her name was Lily Evans. People thank the heavens for a girl like that, it's true. She was a dab hand at potions. If she got the notion, she could charm the robe right off of you. She had green eyes that could hypnotize and bring a bad man back from the dark side. Whoa, whoa, she had green eyes. Even as Lily Potter, there was nobody hotter, and Snape would say it's true. With fierce determination, rock the wizarding nation. There was nothing Lily's love couldn't do. She had green eyes that could hypnotize and bring a bad man back from the dark side. Whoa, she had green eyes. Back in Godric's Hollow, on a dark, dark night, there was only one thing standing between the dark and the light. It was Lily's love, and it answered the call. And the Dark Lord had to take a fall. She had green eyes that could hypnotize and kick the bad man's plans where the sun don't shine. Whoa, she had green eyes. From beyond the grave, she had the power to save. Most requests in never said it's true. With her protection in your skin, no way the bad guy's gonna win. Her dear patron is coming to the rescue. Hey, hey, she had green eyes that could hypnotize and kick the bad man's plans where the sun don't shine. Whoa, she had green eyes. Oh, Harry had her green eyes. Snape loved those green eyes. She had green eyes. Green eyes.
In Hogsmeade Grove, a wizard sits alone, nursing a faraway steam far from home. Haunted by memories, in his eyes a distant storm. Heart once warm, now transforms. Whiskey and wars, spells gone wrong. Singing my pain in a wizard rock song. In the depths of the night where I belong. Whiskey and wars, my heart's swan song. Whiskey and wars, whiskey and wars, whiskey and wars. The battles I've fought, the love I've I've lost. A life of magic, but at what cost? Each sip a reminder, a spell, a scar, in the mirror a man marked by war. For battles I fought, for love I've lost. A life of magic, but at what cost? Each sip a reminder, a spell, a scar, in the mirror a man marked by war. But the strength in the sorrow, power in the past, a wizard's heart resilient and vast. With every note I reclaim what's mine in the melody, my soul's design. Whiskey and walls, spells gone wrong. Singing my pain in a wizard rock song in the depths of the night where I belong. Whiskey and walls, my heart's one song. Whiskey and wands, my heart's one song. Whiskey and wands, whiskey and wands, whiskey and wands. So I'll raise my glass to the stars above, to the ones I've cherished, to the ones I've loved, to the ones I've lost, to the ones I've found, to the ones who truly understand the sound. I'll carry on.
This is the last time, the very last summer that I will be around. I'm sure you'll be happy. Maybe you'll miss me somewhere in your mind. So I'm saying goodbye, and I'll be seeing you it's just me. So I'm saying goodbye, and I'll be seeing you. No more open and dry during the summertime. So I'm saying goodbye, and I'll be seeing you. No more open and dry during the summertime. So I'm saying goodbye, and I'll be seeing you. No more open and dry during the summertime. So I'm saying goodbye, and I'll be seeing you. No more open and dry during the
That was Green Eyes by the Narcoleptics, Waylon Wolfsbane with Whiskey and Wands, and Oliver Boyd and the Remembrals singing One Last Summer. Green Eyes was requested by my incredible patron Jeff and dedicated to every single person who contributed to the 2024 Wizard Rock Sampler. Thank you for weaving your talent into this incredible tapestry and showing the community what you've got. Let's get this party started. Here's my conversation with Bryce of Neville's Diary. Welcome to the show, Bryce of Neville's Diary. I am so excited to talk with you today.
When you asked me, I checked out some previous podcasts, and it sounds like it's going to be a blast. So thank you so much for asking me.
I think it's always a good time. Well, I've been excited for this interview because I know I've seen your name around. I think you helped out with some of the comp clubs.
Yeah.
And you've got at least a couple Wizard Rock projects, but you're still kind of a mystery. Like, I don't know that I've met you at a convention or seen you on the Discord. I don't know your story at all.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of that is due to because like I'm a teacher naturally, so like that's my job. That's my big thing. So this Wizard Rock thing back in 2008 when I started getting it going, we started playing a few things and people started asking me to play, and I was like, oh great, this is like an extra thing for me. It wasn't like something I was actively going out and searching for gigs and that sort of thing. So I think that's a lot of the reason why is like I do this thing not to make money, not to get my name out there. It's great if it does, but it's mostly just fun for me. And if opportunities come, that's great. Although I do have one passion project that I'm starting up. I've got a library program that I started that sends kids on a scavenger hunt through the library. So kids learn how to navigate a library properly because, I don't think enough kids go actually to a physical library anymore. They don't know how it's organized. So they search for Horcruxes throughout the library and they have to bring them back to me, and got some other things. And then there's a trivia contest. And then there is a Yule Ball where I reward them with house points for dancing and singing along and all that stuff. And I've done it a couple times and it's been a big hit. So I'm trying to shop that around to some libraries because I think that'll be a fun way to get me a chance to perform, but also too just a chance to get kids in a library.
That is very fun sounding. I imagine a lot of libraries will be interested.
I hope so. Yeah.
But how did you first get into Wizard Rock? You said 2008?
Yeah, around then, it was actually a student of mine came up to me and shared with me Harry and the Potters. They're like, oh, you got to check out this band. I was like, wait, there's a band called Harry and the Potters? So I checked it out, I listened, I was like, this is really cool. I want to try it. So I talked to my friend Tim, and we've done some musical things in the past together. So we formed up. We wrote songs together. I played all the instruments, recorded them, and we wrote the lyrics together. And then Tim was our main vocalist, and that's how the Quaffle Kids was formed. Quaffle Kids, we made a CD. We performed at some conventions like LeakyCon. We did Rock Chicago. We did that. There was one in Toronto. I can't remember what that one was. It was a long, long time ago, but we did that. And so that's how we got started in that. I met a whole bunch of people through that sort of convention sort of thing. And while we were doing this, I decided to write a couple songs on my own from Neville's perspective, because I think Neville Longbottom is the best hero, is the greatest character in the Harry Potter series. So I wrote some songs from there, and at the first Rockstock, I decided, oh, I'm going to perform a couple songs for someone that was like, oh, I want to hear more. So this person named Jen, she asked me to play a couple songs just out on a bench out in the woods. So I did that, and some people started crowding around and listened. So I was like, okay, I'll maybe record some more songs. So I put together an album, an LP of just acoustic things. And then after that, I was like, wait, this is fun. What would some of these songs sound like if I did full band? So then I started recording full band stuff. And then I got asked to play Rockstock a few more times. Did Rock Chicago as Neville's Diary and the Quaffle Kids. And then through all of those other things, my name got out there, and I met so many great people. I met people from, of course, the big names I met, like Matt Magiacomo from Whomping Willows and Lauren Fairweather, that sort of stuff. But I also met people from the Chocolate Frogs and the Blibbering Humdingers, the Nifflers, Tonks and the Aurors, Hawthorne and Holly. And through those different things, we were able to meet up, and like I would play some instruments as part of their live band when we would play at shows. And vice versa, we would just help each other out come to live shows, because lots of us were just making music ourselves in our homes, and we didn't have bands. So anytime we would get together, we just ask each other, hey, can you fill in as my drummer for this band, for this performance? And that's how that worked out.
One of the things I've learned through these interviews is that drummers in Wizard Rock are a rare and precious resource that are generally communally shared.
Yeah, actually, almost all of those other groups that I just mentioned, they asked me to play drums on their records. It's really, really fun, because I think with drumming especially, I can morph my way through their sound a little bit better than my guitar playing and whatnot. I'm not a very good guitar player and that sort of thing, but I feel like with drumming, I can change things up and match their style. That way I get exposed to a whole bunch of different styles of music, and hopefully it helps them out too, just come up with maybe some other things too. Eddie from Hawthorne and Holly, I played drums a different way than he was expecting me to. He's like, oh, well, that changes the song, so we got to do this. And so it was really, really neat how he had an idea, my drumming changed that idea just a little bit, and then he created this other thing based on that. And it was really, really fun. And the fact that we never sat in the same room to make that happen.
The story of Jen and the park bench is a very cool one. Do you have any other neat stories from any of the conventions, Rockstock, Rock Chicago?
Oh, yeah. It's stuff that took me by surprise, how much other people were enjoying songs about Neville Longbottom and my singing, and my songwriting, because I don't think that I'm that great of a singer. And so it was nice that other people were enjoying it. At the third Rockstock, I think it was, the Quaffle Kids didn't play at that one. I just went as a concert goer. But what they had is they had a side stage in what they called the Wampum Willow. It was like this TP sort of structure, and it was for like acoustic things. And so I was like, okay, great. I signed up to do that. And I walked into the room and it was packed. And I was just like, what? I brought 25 CDs. That was all I had in my bag. I was like, okay, and play the show. The crowd was really into it. They were so nice and so supportive. They were singing along when I asked for crowd participation. And then by the end of it, I ran out of CDs, and I was just like, what is going on? It was not expected that I would have that many people that would like my songs that I wrote about Neville Longbottom. So that's probably one of my favorite memories about just a surprise.
It sounds completely magical.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, especially with all the great people you meet at these cons. Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
Now, I always like to find out why people choose the band names that they do, because sometimes it's self-evident. Harry and the Potters, because they wanted to be, the main character of their story. And sometimes they're a little more of a path to get there, like Creepy Crisis.
Yeah, so the way I came up with the name was, first of all, it had to do with Neville, because like I said, Neville is the greatest character. There's nothing you can tell me to convince me otherwise that Neville is not the best character in that series. So I wanted to let people know that the songs were going to be about Neville, but then I was also like, I want to add a magical aspect to it. So the original concept was that Neville's diary was enchanted, and it was able to sing through these very personal thoughts that he was having. And they were able to make those vocal. And so Neville contacted me, Bryce Cohn, to say, hey, can you provide music for my diary that wants to sing? And I was like, sure. So that was the concept, was the diary is actually the thing that is singing, and I'm providing the music for the diary.
Now, as you said, Neville's Diary is actually the second project. Quaffle Kids came first. How did that one happen with Tim?
Oh, the name of Quaffle Kids came about. There's this band I really, really love that, especially at the time when I was in college, was the Get Up Kids. They're from Lawrence, Kansas. They're an emo band that was just absolutely fantastic. I went on, I saw several shows of theirs, and Tim just liked that name. He liked the kids aspect. He just thought that was fun. So he was like, what if we take something like that? And, Quidditch is a huge part of the wizarding world. So he was like, what if we incorporate Quidditch somehow? And so that's where Quaffle Kids came from. And then our first album, he made the suggestion of Bludgers and Broomsticks. So it's kind of like that old Disney movie that was really similar, but we are able to incorporate the Quidditch in that. And then we have a song, of course, about Quidditch on the record called Quidditch Time.
You mentioned that I think every one of the Neville's Diary songs is the diary communicating. So it starts with a little bit of a diary entry.
Yep.
Does the song come first? Does the journal entry come first? How do you create them? What inspires them? Are they harder than music?
Oh, yeah, I actually think the diary entry is harder than music. That's a fun question to ask. First of all, I don't like writing lyrics to begin with. I'm an instrumentalist by trade. I studied saxophone in college, so instrumental music is my thing. Writing lyrics is way harder because I think it exposes a lot more of yourself, and it lets people into who you really, really are. And even though lots of these songs are from Neville's perspective, let's be honest, most of these songs are really about me. Like the way I feel like I see a lot of myself in Neville, all the self-doubt, the self-deprecation, all that kind of stuff. I feel that's why I latched onto him so much, is because every day, I feel some part of that. Like there's something, oh shoot, I could have done that better. Why am I not better at this? And then to see Neville be such a hero, and to be like, even though all that stuff is going on, he's able to fight through it. And he's able to be someone that actually the main trio depend on. I mean, Neville was the guy in year 7 at Hogwarts. There's no way anything would have happened to the good at Hogwarts if it weren't for Neville. So when it comes to writing the lyrics, that's what I see. I see a lot of myself in Neville. So the lyrics have to come first, though. The germination is kind of like, if you would, it's like a diary entry of sorts. Like that's the idea, but I don't write the diary entry until the song is completely over. I want to make sure that the lyrics are the most important part of the words that are happening, and the diary entry is just an intro saying, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is where Neville came from when he decided to write these lyrics down and to have the diary sing them.
It's a very cool, unusual concept for sure. Was it at all inspired by like the Whomping Willows? The idea of the music coming from the magical world, but through you rather than like a direct character one-to-one?
That's awesome that you made that connection, because yes, 100%, 100p, that is correct. Yeah, because that was of course one of the first bands that I listened to when I was figuring out this wizard rock thing, and so I saw that concept and I was like, that is really cool. It's not like Neville himself is singing, because I don't think Neville would ever get in front of a microphone and sing himself. So how would he communicate these feelings that he has, he would probably have to go through some like intermediary. What if it was his diary? What if his diary was the thing that created all this stuff? Because the words are already there. They have all of Neville's most, inner thoughts going on. And so what if the diary was the singer?
For your performances, did you ever consider a diary costume a la Ludo Bagman?
No, but now I do. I kind of want to make that happen. That would be great. No, but I didn't ever think of a diary costume. But what I do have is at a show, someone who's been a friend of mine for a long time, she made a diary for me that was like, oh, here's a diary entry that Neville made on this. And it's about going to see like a Neville's diary show. And I was like, wait a minute, this is fantastic. So I took that same notebook and now at every single show, I put it out on a table. I write a little diary entry about it, like the date, where the show is at, who asked me to play, what I'm excited about for it. And then during the show, I say, hey, I want to meet you guys. I want to meet the crowd. So I'm going to be over there. And if you could write your name down into the diary and what house you belong to, that way I can remember all the great people that I met at this show. And it was really, really cool. I just looked at it at our last show and I saw some people from like 3 or 4 years ago that I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they were at the show. And then actually at that same show, I saw that same person there. So they came to 2 shows and I was like, oh, that's really cool. That means a whole lot to be able to make those connections through this music. Because that was the thing I loved about the Wizard Rock community was just, you got to meet so many just awesome people. And I'm still friends with a lot of those people that I met at those cons in 2008. Was that 16 years ago? So I still talk to some of those people. It's great.
I was delighted going through your pre-interview notes because you mentioned that you are a band teacher and I was a band kid. And then you went on and said that although Quaffle Kids is formed with a friend of yours, Neville's Diaries band is, I think you said, former students.
Yeah. For the records that I made, the first 2 LPs and the first 2 EPs, I was playing all the instruments. Because, I mean, gosh, back in the day when I started this stuff, I was cranking out a record every single year because I was like, oh, the next con's coming up. I got to have new material. The next con's coming up. I got to have new material. So I made all of the records myself, played all the instruments, and then I would just either play an acoustic show or, like I mentioned earlier, I would just find out who else was playing at this con and be like, hey, can you play for me at this con? But as I stopped going to as many cons and started getting more gigs locally, I was like, I'd love to play with a full band. I need people to help fill out my band. So it started with a drummer, Alex Lawrence, who was our center snare for a couple of years in marching band. And he had just turned 18. And I was like, hey, I need someone to play drums for me. I just got asked to do this mini tour with Steph Anderson of Tongs and the Oars, and I'd really love to have someone just providing percussion for me. Can you join me? And he was like, yeah, sure. So that's how it started. Just Alex playing a cajon while I played guitar, and we did a 3-city tour with Tongs and the Oars. And then I was like, okay, cool. So I got a drummer. What about if I add a bass player? So I asked one of our former drum majors, who happens to also have been a friend of Alex's. So Brian Jones became the bass player for Neville's Diary. And then we added a guitar player. And this guy happened to play trumpet and baritone for us when we were in school. And they were all friends already. They actually participated in a battle of bands that I put on when those students were in high school. I put on a battle of bands for the school. So I was like, okay, they already know how to rock because they've done this stuff. What if they came and joined me? So we had a band, and then we kept adding, changing the lineup a little bit here and there based on who could play. But yeah, so now the Neville's Diary live band is made up of nothing but former students of mine. And it's really cool because I knew every single one of them when they were 11 years old. They first came into my classroom and they were so tiny and so just not different from who they have become, but it was great to see who they became later on in life. And now I get to hang out with them. I get to travel with them. I get to joke around with them. Our rehearsals are ridiculously fun because we're just goofing around. And it's so fun to see them in that environment as now almost 30-year-old individuals. It's really, really, really fun, and it's honestly probably one of the coolest things that has ever happened to me, to get to know them as adults.
In my previous interview, Daniel Kelly was saying that his kids are like, music's not cool because it's cool to the adults in their life. So what was that conversation like with your band when you were like, come join my Harry Potter band? Were they immediately like, this is the coolest thing ever? Or were they like, I don't know, I'm too cool for fantasy books?
Well, luckily, Alex and Tyler are already Harry Potter fans. Like, Tyler was actually at some Neville's Diary shows in the crowd, dressed up in his robes. And so I was like, oh, we need another guitar player. What about Tyler? He likes Harry Potter. So that was great. And like I said, they performed in a Battle of the Bands at our school. And what would I do at the Battle of the Bands is a teacher band would actually open the show. So they'd seen me playing rock and roll already. So it was a very easy thing. Now, some of my students now who haven't seen me in that role, the younger students, yeah, they're like, what's going on? So that's really, really cool to see that sort of thing.
This looks like the perfect place to put Anything by Quickspell, along with a few other songs.
You know I have to leave you now. That Slytherins are evil, that's what other houses say. But as a Slytherin, I aim to change your view today. Slytherins aren't terrible, we're just misunderstood. Just because we're a little power obsessed doesn't mean we can't be good. Oh Slytherin, they all think you're bad. But a Slytherin will be the bestest friend you've ever had. Slytherins can be so kind, they take care of their friends. They'll find for you a meal cause you forgot your lunch again. They really are the sweetest, it just doesn't always show. But don't ask them where they got that sandwich, you don't wanna know. Oh Slytherin, they all think you're bad. But a Slytherin will be the bestest friend you've ever had. Slytherins watch out for you, they make sure you're okay. They'll tell your ex to right off and make them go away. They'll respect your choices when you want to win or quit. And most of the time will manipulate you only a little bit. Oh Slytherin, they all think you're bad. But a Slytherin will be the bestest friend you've ever had. A Slytherin will open up if they think you'll listen. You know they care about you if they don't just hold it in. Expressing their emotions is not their strongest trait. Unless, of course, you count the feelings, sad, mad, fear, and hate. Oh Slytherin, they all think you're bad. But a Slytherin will be the bestest friend you've ever had. I hope I've helped you all to see that Slytherins are fine. You don't have to reject us, you just have to have a spine. Your Slytherin can be bad at knowing where some boundaries lay. That's why we all need our Hufflepuffs to keep us all at bay. Oh Slytherin, they all think you're bad. But a Slytherin will be the bestest friend you've ever had. Oh Slytherin, they all think you're bad. But a Slytherin will be the bestest friend you've ever had.
In the fog of the English countryside, you don't know what's lurking out there. The prophet says there might be in fear, right? But I'm more than prepared. 'Cause like that Muggle movie said, aim for the head, aim for the head, aim for the head. Life might seem a little unpredictable when there might be a zombie army. Luckily, Muggles have a training program that can help lead us to safety. So like that Muggle movie said, aim for the head, aim for the head, aim for the
You just heard Anything from Quickspell, The Misbehavin' Maidens and Slytherins Are Misunderstood, along with Aim for the Head by Tonks and the R's. And now you're going to hear more from Bryce. I am now a little bit thrown off on Neville's Diaries timeline because I checked your Bandcamp and there's 2 albums there.
Mm-hmm.
And one is from 2008 and one is from 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So I had assumed that there was like a decade-long break in there.
There is.
But it sounds
Yeah.
like you've been doing a lot in that time. It wasn't just you went off and did other things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, on Bandcamp, I'll admit I am the worst with self-promoting. I hate the sitting down behind a desk and doing that sort of stuff. I would much rather get out there and get my hands dirty. Like I tell students especially, hey, give me any job. Give me the filthiest job. I will gladly clean a toilet more so than sit behind a desk and do work. I cannot stand that. So when it comes to this sort of thing and self-promoting, honestly, I have not put a lot on Bandcamp. But I released 4 records right in a row, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 4 records all in a row. And then I did take a decade. It wasn't until 2020 then again that I released the Foo Fighters EP, which came about in a fun and natural sort of way. With my live band, they were all fans of Foo Fighters. And so what I decided to do while rehearsing, why don't we just write a quick little parody of one of the Foo Fighters songs, and we changed it up every single show. We would do a different parody, and it would be like a verse and a chorus of a Foo Fighters song. And so after a while, we had this collection of Foo Fighters parodies, and I just thought, what if I just wrote a couple more verses, and we recorded the entire song? So that's how that came to be. We already had the material, essentially, and I decided to just write a few more things. And it was really cool because this was the first time that the live band was actually on the record. It wasn't me playing the drums in my pitiful way. It was Alex Lawrence who could play Everlong in an amazing way that there's no way that I could ever play Everlong. To be like Dave Grohl or to be like Taylor Hawkins, I can't play like that, but Alex can. And so that was really, really cool to be able to see that sort of thing happen.
So I'm going through your Bandcamp and the PD archive, and you said there were 4 albums.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the other 2?
Yeah, I got to get on that. I got to do something with that. Which ones do you see?
So on Neville's Diaries Bandcamp, there's Things Will Get Better, and of course Foo Fighters.
Yep, first and last record so far. It's a bookend. So you're missing all the pages in between, huh?
And then Least Expected is in the archive.
Great. Okay, cool. Yeah.
So you said you released those albums. Where did they go? Were they just on MySpace? Is this lost Neville's Diary?
There you go, sister. Yeah, they're on MySpace. Like I said, I'm not one for self-promoting and whatnot, so I have not updated that stuff because especially to like I loved the actual like con circuit and whatnot, meeting individuals, and at shows I would say, hey, when you buy this record, you are signing a contract with me that you're going to give this record to someone else and they're going to give it to someone else. Like I said, I have a day job. I love my day job. I make enough money doing that day. Well, I'm a public school teacher. I don't make a lot of money, but I make money that I can live. I don't need this money to sell these from these records. So you're supposed to share it. So back in the day, that was the thing. Like people sharing CDs. Oh my gosh. That doesn't happen anymore. Like getting excited to be like, hey, I heard this new band. Here's a record. Womp, hand over a CD. Now it's like, oh, here's this individual song, or here's this one thing that you can stream that I heard on this mix sort of thing. I am definitely one for, here's a full record from beginning to end. It tells a story. Like one of my records is a concept album called Teachers Can Rock Too. And it's about me just writing songs that I hear that I was like, oh, that's a kind of a neat thing that I wrote that thing. But then there's another concept album that is fan fiction. I was like, okay, Neville became a teacher. He became the herbology teacher. So he would still be writing diary entries, right? What would those songs be about? So I released a record called The Awkward Kid. It was an EP. And I combined 2 EPs together, the Awkward Kid EP and Spread the Rumor EP onto one. thing. So it was like full LP. It's a 10-song thing. But that concept record was just what would Neville be like if he was a teacher? What would he write about? And that one was probably actually, no, that one was the most autobiographical sort of thing that I've written, because I literally took things that I experienced in my every single day teaching career and I put it into a song. Like one of them was this: a kid came up to me and said he could do a great impression of a Sasquatch. And then he proceeded to do a Sasquatch impression. I mentioned that in my song. It's like that. Those are the things I'm going to remember, not like a kid who didn't do really well or something like that. I'm going to remember those kids that were really weird, super awkward, and just made my life really, really fun in that moment. And in just enjoying the fact that I get to meet all these great people.
Well, that sounds amazing, and I would love to hear it.
All right, so that's what I'm going to do. That's my homework. You just gave me my homework, teacher. I'm going to have to do that. I got Labor Day weekend coming up here, so maybe that's what I'm going to put on my to-do list. Get those things up on Bandcamp.
I was going to say, no, you're a public teacher. You have enough to do already. But that does sound really good for me, so we'll let it ride.
Okay. Will I get extra credit for doing it so quickly if I do it this weekend?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Always up for extra credit.
Do your bandmates contribute with the writing? Because you said you're an instrumentalist, so do they do any of the lyrics? Do they write their own musical pieces?
No, like for the most part, it's me workshopping a song on my own. I create all the different parts and then I just say, hey, here's the product. Let's do this. What we usually typically do though is during a rehearsal, there might be something that all of a sudden changes. Like maybe our drummer plays something in a different way that I didn't expect. And it's like, oh, we're going to change up this arrangement and we're going to make it like this. Or, I mean, at live shows, I love to do as much stuff to get the crowd involved. So there's lots of stuff that we do that we create in a rehearsal space where we're like, okay, how can we make this person want to jump up and down? How are we going to make this person shout back at us? What are we going to do with that? So they really help me out a lot with that, changing the arrangements of the tunes and helping getting crowd interaction, because live music is obviously so much different than me sitting in my own basement by myself being the only contributor. So those sorts of things are really, really great with that. Now with Foo Fighters, we did have a little bit more contribution, but in that one, the music was pretty much locked in. Like the Foo Fighters made those records already. They already wrote the song. So we just had to change up some of the lyrics. So they would give me some ideas for like what a song could be about. And actually, I think one of them gave me the idea for the Foo Fighters, for that Foo Fighters EP, that name. So I thought that was fun.
That is fun. I imagine being both a teacher and having been in Wizard Rock for so long, you probably have some really solid advice for new Wizard Rockers.
The thing I've come to find about Wizard Rock, the thing that especially allured me way back when I was much younger, was how helpful everyone was. I'd go to a con and there would be some people that saw me play at the last one and they would just come up and be so excited to see me and be like, oh my gosh, that last show was just fantastic. One time someone came to Notre Dame. I live near South Bend, Indiana, where Notre Dame University is. And so one of the Harry Potter clubs got some Wizard Rockers come and they asked me to join them. And after the show, they're like, I wish you would have played more songs. That is the thing that I found I love the most about the Wizard Rock community, just how absolutely loving they were and how much they didn't mind dumping love on you. So the thing for a young person trying to get into Wizard Rock, I would say just talk to people, like ask people for help, because there's years of people doing this and there's people that might have better knowledge of how to do stuff. Just ask and they're going to be helpful. I'm one of the most introverted people in the world. So that's scary for me to do myself. But seriously, it really is good advice, because if someone came up to me and started asking me, I would happily dump my knowledge on them. Or like I got an email out of the blue from Bisexual Harry, and they were like, hey, will you play drums for me on this song? I was like, yes, I will. Because I want to help out. Like that's what was so great about the Wizard Rock community. So yeah, just talk to people, ask for help. You'll get the help. I've never been turned away or been told I was being ridiculous or dumb for asking for help. It's been the exact opposite experience for me.
So are we giving out your email at the end of this?
How about this? I'll start checking my Facebook Neville's Diary page a little bit more. If that notification goes straight to my phone, let's do that.
Deal. Listeners know I like to get really concrete advice. Something about, a warm-up exercise, or how to pick a good rhyming word, or something about editing. Do you have anything like that?
Oh, something. Well, lyrics take me forever. And I would say that maybe just don't be afraid if it takes a long time. I'd like to come up with maybe a 4-line verse. I could stare at my page for an hour because I want to craft the best thing. And so don't be afraid of it taking some time and taking a while. With editing, experiment. Gosh, my first the Quaffle Kids record that I made, I thought it was awesome. Let me tell you, I thought I had crafted and
And it
engineered.
was, let's be clear.
Well, thank you very much. But like from an engineering standpoint, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so great. And now I listen to it, I'm like, wow, I had no clue what I was doing. So experiment. The only way you're going to get better at it is to do it and then share that stuff with people. I don't think I've ever released a single song that I hadn't sent to my friend Matt Greco of the Chocolate Frogs. I don't think I've ever released one that he hadn't heard first. So share it with people, let them know, and don't be afraid to have people listen to your stuff.
What do you use to edit? Or is it called something else for music? Mix?
No. Meta, because it begins with the letter M and it's music. Mix. I start off on just a Tascam Porta Studio. It's an 8-track recorder. I bought it in 2004. That was like the first big boy thing I bought for myself as an adult. I was like, all right, I'm out of college. I have a steady paycheck. I'm going to buy myself this thing. And that's still what I actually record straight to. I record straight to that. And then I go into a computer afterwards. I dump all those tracks onto a computer afterwards. And I actually mix in video editing software. I mix in Video Vegas. It's not actual music editing software. So that's the other thing I would say is don't worry about if you're doing it the right way, because I'm definitely not. Especially later in my years as I've recorded a few more things, I'm like, I'm happy with how it's turned out. So I think some of the stuff is pretty solid. The Foo Fighters EP, I am over the moon with how well it turned out as far as the mixing and editing and whatnot. So I'm really happy with that one.
Do you think it'll be a decade before we get the next Neville's Diary album? Or are you working on something now?
Well, I hope it's not going to be a decade. The thing is, now that I've done it for a while, my own personal expectations have gone up for a record. And so it's like, I wish I could just be the kind of guy that's just like, you know what? I've got this thing in my head. I want to put it on a record. Boom, it's done. But the way more I learn about the songwriting process, the more I learn about mixing, the more I learn about that sort of thing, I want to be better. Like, I got 2 concepts in my head right now. I have 2 records that I could make if I just sat down and did it. And one of them, I don't mind sharing with you guys. It's another sort of fan fiction thing. What would have happened if Voldemort would have thought that Neville was the one in the prophecy? How would everything around Hogwarts have changed? So, like, would Neville have been held up to such a high level as Harry was? And if that was the case, how would that have changed? Would he have been more confident when he went to Hogwarts? Or would he still have been kind of introspective and scared? Because, I mean, his parents still, no matter what, they would have still be in St. Mungo's. So would he be... I wrote a song that he was very proud of his parents and whatnot, but, you know, he didn't let other people at Hogwarts know that his parents were there in St. Mungo. So it's like, would that still be the thing? Would that still be something that kind of like haunts him and makes him not sure of himself? So it's a really cool concept that I would love to explore more. I just got to, get off my butt and make it happen. Because once I get going on projects like that, I love it. It's so fun, but that's daunting to start something like that. So I hope I can get that one going because that one I'm really excited about the concept of.
If re-releasing the other albums is your homework, maybe that'll be like a term project?
A term project. There you go. I'll do that during my summer term. Like they always talk in the Harry Potter books about how they had some reading to do or something over the summer. That'll be my summer reading.
What about the Quaffle Kids? Are we likely to see any more of them?
If people ask, yeah. We got asked to contribute to a compilation album through Whistleroclopedia. And it was kind of like, hey, let's bring back some people from a long time ago. Let's see how they're doing. So we did a sea shanty sort of song that we released, and we had a lot of fun.
Do Quaffle Kids have a unifying theme the way Neville's Diary does?
No, we're just a grab bag sort of thing when we were writing. But two things I think stuck that the audience really latched onto. So if we were to do something like that again, we would kind of go for that. We did like a Irish punk sort of thing, like Flogging Molly, Dropkick Murphys. We did a song about the Commonwealth Green and like being the kindest dragon you have, and you can have a pint with the Commonwealth Green. Audiences love that. I actually still perform that song with Neville's Diary. I either bust out my flute or I have one of my other former students bust out his tin whistle, and we do a good old Irish jig during that. And the other one was Magical Me, where Tim really got to show his acting prowess by being Gilderoy Lockhart and just talking about how amazing Gilderoy Lockhart is. We stole a little bit of that for one of the verses for our song that we released with Whizzroclopedia. I was like, hey, you should do it like you did for Magical Me, because the audience loved that sort of thing. So no unifying theme, but if we did do another record, we'd probably go along those sorts of lines again, make sure we have one or two kind of like that.
It's time for our last music break. So here are Pansy and the Gossip Queens with Gossip Queen.
When I grow up, I'm gonna be the next Rita Skeeter. Only I'll be prettier and cleverer and infinitely sweeter. I won't have to turn into a bug to get all my stories. Yeah, I will be the gossip queen and I'll get all the glory. Daily Prophet and Witch Weekly, I'll be the gossip queen. Getting galleons for my hobby, writing stories for the magazines, Quidditch players, who's the cutest, politicians, which one's hotter. And if I can't find the bastards, I'll just make up something about Potter. This is the best job in the world. The cult of celebrity, it's not just a muggle trend. Gossip makes the world go round, even if it's just round the bend. Daily Prophet and Witch Weekly, I'll be the gossip queen. Getting galleons for my hobby and writing stories for the magazines, Quidditch players, who's the cutest, politicians, which one's hotter. And if I can't find the bastards, I'll just make up something about Potter. This is the best job in the world.
Look at me now, I can show you the way into the school. No
longer pray. What you expect since you went away? Who'd you think was gonna pick up the slack? We've been causing trouble, we've been making it double, we've been taking our punishments. Now that you're here, I know it's time. Now that you're here, we're all in line. Now that you're here, know it's time to fight. Into the picture, here we go. It's time to follow, follow. Into the picture, here we go. It's time to follow, follow. Into the picture, here we go. It's time to follow, follow. Into the picture, here we go. It's time to swallow your fears. Oh, how it's changed since I've been away. No longer beauty, it's left with stains. We're going to make the difference. We're going to beat them senseless. It's time to take back our school. It's time to fight, here we go. It's time to follow, follow. Into the fight, here we go. It's time to follow, follow. Into the fight, here we go. It's time to follow, follow. Into the fight, here we go. It's time to swallow your fear. Into the fight, here we go. It's time to follow, follow. Into the fight, here we go. It's time to swallow your fears.
Though you know who has gone away, his sycophants remain. The bigots bide their time, their prejudice was never slain. They tell us we imagine what we see with our own eyes. They clearly never had to write that they must not tell lies. So we sing out our truth and our job's never done, till the day that true magic belongs to everyone. Let us sing and keep faith to dispel all despair, and we'll keep Potter watch till we go off the air. We've also shed some allies who abandoned unto fate, our fellow beings whose freedoms they believe should have to wait. As long as I have mine, they say, don't give a damn for yours. They banish us outside and try to bar the castle doors. So we sing out our truth and our job's never done, till the day that true magic belongs to everyone. Let us sing and keep faith to dispel all despair, and we'll keep Potter watch till we go off the air. Grieving all our losses, but we can't spreading far a spattergroid of lies. Shouting out distractions, trying to make us lose our way. Purity's the enemy of working every day. So we sing out our truth and our job's never done, till the day that true magic belongs to everyone. Let us sing and keep faith to dispel all despair, and we'll keep on our watch till we go off the air. Up ahead, but night becomes the dawn. We may be facing kings, but we're a company of pawns. So summon your Patronus, bring the light to what we face. We'll cast the bastards out and make our world a better place. So we sing out our truth and our job's never done, till the day that true magic belongs to everyone. Let us sing and keep faith to dispel all despair, and we'll keep on our watch till we go off the air.
That was Pansy and the Gossip Queens with Gossip Queen. Time to Fight from Eyes Like Mine. And Potter Watches Till We Go Off the Air. And we're back to the interview. Thank you so much for talking with me today. I'm sure that there's so much we didn't even cover, so hopefully we'll get to do it again.
Yeah, thank you for asking me. Seriously, I was so excited that someone wanted to talk to me because, like I said, the biggest thing I loved about the cons was meeting people, and this is my first time I got to meet you, and I've had a blast.
Hopefully we'll see you around at some of them.
Yep, I agree. I see all these pictures, like the last official LeakyCon just happened. I was like, I wish I could have gone. But, adult life.
You should come to WZRD Fest. It's only in the middle of the school year. It's fine.
Oh, is that all? Actually, amazing you say that. Neville, sorry, I got asked to play a thing in Arkansas in the middle of the school year. But it happened to be a great weekend that it was like, I could take off one day and drive all the way down to Arkansas to play at a haunted hotel for a Yule Ball sort of thing. Yes, I will do that.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was a blast because that was the first time that my live band, my former students, got to experience an actual Wizard Rock sort of festival / con sort of thing. And so they had an absolute blast. They met so many cool people. It was great.
Which one was that? Did it have like a name?
Yeah, it was put on by Wizard Way of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
And Roland Bell and Stacy Bell. Roland is, by the way, also a teacher, so we hit it off. He's a special ed teacher, so that was really great talking about Wizard Rock and teaching along with him. And it was part of, they put on a festival, a con themselves, but it always happened at the worst time for me during one of my band competitions time. So I was like, I cannot miss a band competition. Put it on another weekend where I have nothing going on, I will be there.
Well, when you're not driving to other states and hosting battles of the band, where can WZRD listeners find you online?
I got a couple of records on Bandcamp, and thanks to my teacher giving me some homework, you'll probably hear my other records on there. But also, you can check out some other bands that I've played with if you want to check those out. Blibbering Humdingers, I played drums for them. Chocolate Frogs, the Nifflers, Tonks and the Oars. I actually played some horns as well for her, or some saxophone, trumpet, and trombone parts for her. Hawthorne and Holly, I've played some drums. And Bisexual Harry, Ginny Hit Me was the track I played on. So you can check out those sorts of things. YouTube, search me up, my name, Bryce Cohen on YouTube. I've got some performances on there. But my favorite thing is just talk to some people that might have my record and say, hey, can I bum that record off you? And then just start sharing it. Spread it around. Don't worry about giving me any money for that record that you're passing around. I like my job. I'll keep making music, and you guys just keep sharing it.
And of course, there's the Facebook page that you promised to check more frequently.
Yes, Facebook. And if you want to get MySpace started back up again, feel free.
If you heard a song today and you thought, I could listen to that again, then go to the transcript at wcrdradiopod.com, follow the link, and buy a copy of your very own. It's the best way to support your favorite musician, and without our Wizard Rockers, we wouldn't be here. If you want discounts on WCRD merch, the inside scoop on everything that's coming up, and bonus gifts and episodes, then you want WCRD Radio's Patreon at patreon.com/WCRD Radiopod. It's just $2 Muggle a month and also supports the Community Rock Fund, where we're raising funds to help Wizard Rockers achieve their musical dreams. If you want to keep up with WZRD between episodes, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at WCRD Radiopod. If you don't believe in social media, you can also comment on the transcript or email me at wcrdradiopod@gmail.com. And here's Neville's diary.
All right, so I'm going to play a song called You Can't Stop the DA. I'm a big fan of punk rock, but I do not have a voice that can handle punk rock. So I decided to write a punk rock song in the guise of a catchy pop tune. So this song is about how Order of the Phoenix sort of stuff, where as long as everyone's together, as long as you believe in yourself and the people that you're with, you can put an end to an injustice you see in the world. There can be a way that you can speak up and you can do something about it. It's great if you want to sing along in the, there's a little call and response thing that I can't do solo, but if you know the song, feel free to sing along to it. Stop the DA. We'll put down any Death Eaters that get in our way. You can't stop the DA. We'll put down any Death Eaters that get in our way. Voldemort's back. We can't just wait for him to attack. We can't deny that we must be ready to fight. I am so scared. Am I prepared? Well, I don't know if I can do this. I hope that I'm not worthless. But thanks to Harry, I'm confident now. You can't stop the DA. We'll put down any Death Eaters that get in our way. You can't stop the DA. We'll put down any Death Eaters that get in our way. Poor Cedric died. So to save the rest of our lives, we'll teach ourselves. We don't need the Ministry's help. Oh, Umbridge, you're useless. Well, you don't teach any of this stuff. You think that theory is enough. We won't sit by and watch our friends die. You can't stop the DA. We'll put down any Death Eaters that get in our way. You can't stop the DA. We'll put down any Death Eaters that get in our way. You can't stop the DA. We'll put down any Death Eaters that get in our way. You can't stop the DA. We'll put down any Death Eaters that get in our way. Get in our way.